The rain hammered the tin roof of the old Savannah coffee shop like it was trying to drown out the world. But it couldn't touch the storm raging inside me. I slammed my laptop shut. Sketches scattering like fallen leaves. And buried my face in my hands. The kind of sob escaping that you don't plan. The kind that echoes off the walls and turns heads. Spencer looked up from her corner table. Her green eyes steady as the live oaks outside. And without a word, she slid her chair over. Her hand hovering just above my shoulder. Close enough I could feel the warmth before she even touched. That was how it started. On a gray afternoon in late spring. When the air hung heavy with jasmine and regret. I was Logan Hayes. 28. Architect by trade. Dreamer by curse. Fresh off a botched pitch in Atlanta that had my boss's voice still ringing in my ears. Sharp as a blueprint gone wrong. The project was supposed to be my breakout. A eco-resort tucked into the Georgia lowlands. Blending modern lines with the lazy curve of river bends. But the models mocked me. The elevations lied. And every line I drew felt like a confession of failure. I'd driven down to Savannah on a whim. Chasing whispers of inspiration from the historic district's crooked streets. Thinking maybe the ghosts of old cotton kings could whisper fixes into my caffeine-fueled haze. Spencer Whitaker was the name on the lips of every designer south of the Mason-Dixon. 35. Landscape whisperer. The woman who turned strip malls into sanctuaries and parking lots into poetry. I'd emailed her cold. Desperate. Attaching my renders like a Hail Mary. Begging for 30 minutes of her time. Her reply had been polite. Efficient. Slotted me in at this hole-in-the-wall spot called the Driftwood Bean. Where the coffee tasted like chicory regret and the walls peeled like forgotten promises. She arrived early. Of course. Notebook in hand. Hair tied back with a leather cord. Looking every bit the southern sage in her faded chambray shirt and boots scuffed from fieldwork. When she sat down, the air shifted. Like the rain outside decided to pause just for her. Logan, she said. Voice low and drawling. The kind of slow Georgia cadence that wrapped around vowels like kudzu. Tell me what hurts. Not what went wrong with the project. What hurts? I blinked. Throat tight. And that's when the dam cracked. Words tumbled out. Not about load-bearing walls or sustainable sourcing. But about the empty apartment back in Atlanta. The girlfriend who'd packed her bags 6 months prior with a note that read like an eviction notice. You're building walls instead of homes, it had said. And here I was. Doing exactly that. She listened. Chin resting on her knuckles. Not interrupting. Not pitying. When I trailed off. Wiping at my eyes with the heel of my hand. She leaned in. Breathe with me. Darlin'. In through the nose. Out like you're sighing to an old friend. I did. The rhythm syncing with the patter on the roof. And for the first time in weeks. My chest loosened. Then she flipped open her notebook. Pencil scratching softly. Your renders aren't failing you. They're screaming for green. See here? Her finger traced a line on my screen. Suggesting berms of native grasses. Wild river cane weaving through the structures like veins. It was simple. Elegant. Alive. By the time the rain eased to a drizzle. We'd sketched revisions that made my heart stutter. Not from fear. But possibility. We parted with her card tucked in my pocket. Her number scrawled on the back in looping script. Call if you need more than lines on paper, she said. And her smile lingered. Warm as porch light on a summer night. Driving back to Atlanta that evening. Wipers slapping rhythmically. I replayed it all. Her voice echoing in my head. What had I expected? A quick consult. A pat on the back. Back to my drafting table alone. But Spencer had seen through the professional veneer. Straight to the ache I kept buried under deadlines and drafts. The next week blurred into revisions. My office a war zone of coffee stains and crumpled elevations. But her advice stuck. Transforming the project from sterile to soulful. I texted her updates. Hesitant at first. Thumbs hovering over send. She replied with thumbs up emojis and voice notes. Her laugh filtering through my speakers like sunlight. That's it. Logan. Let the land breathe through it. One night. After a 12-hour grind. I called. Not for the project. For the quiet in her voice when she answered. Like she'd been waiting. Come down, she said. Savannah's got secrets Atlanta can't touch. I hesitated. Excuses piling up like unread emails. But the pull was stronger. By Friday, I was on the road again. Windows down. The hum of I-16 lulling me into something like peace. She met me at her place. A shotgun house on the edge of Forsyth Park. Porch swing creaking under wisteria. Inside smelled of sage and sawdust. Bookshelves groaning undertones on botany and brutalist design. "This is where I think," she said, handing me a glass of sweet tea. Condensation beating like sweat on skin. We talked late into the evening. Sprawled on her living room rug. Blueprints unfurled between us like a shared bed. But the lines blurred. She shared stories of her own stumbles. A fellowship lost to a bad breakup. The way grief had her ripping out her garden one winter. Bulbs flying like accusations. "I plant it again come spring," she murmured. Eyes distant. Roots run deep. Even after flood. Her vulnerability cracked something in me. A sigh escaping as I traced the scar on her knuckle. A fencing mishap from her undergrad days. Our hands lingered. Fingers brushing. The air thickening with unsaid things. That night, I stayed in her guest room. The ceiling fan whirring soft lullabies. But sleep evaded. My mind replaying the brush of skin. The way her laugh dipped low when she thought no one heard. Morning brought biscuits from a nearby spot. Flaky and golden. Eaten on the porch as birds chattered overhead. "Walk with me," she asked. And we did. Through the park's azalea tunnels. Her arm grazing mine with each step. The project faded to backdrop. It was her cadence. Her quiet strength. Drawing me out. By noon, I was confessing more. The fear that I'd inherited my mother's restlessness. The way love always felt like a blueprint I couldn't build. She stopped under a live oak. Moss draping like a veil. "Love's not a structure, Logan. It's the wind through it. The shift of light." Her words hung. And when she tucked a stray hair behind my ear. Time stuttered. Our eyes met. Breath sinking again. Closer now. Her thumb grazing my jaw. I leaned in. Or maybe she did. Lips meeting soft. Tentative. Tasting of tea and possibility. The kiss deepened. Hands finding waists. The world narrowing to the press of bodies. The sigh she let out against my mouth. We pulled back. Foreheads touching. Her chuckle breathy. "Well now. No rush. No labels. Just that moment. Raw and real." The afternoon stretched lazy. Tangled sheets later. Whispers in the half-light. But as dusk fell, doubt crept in. A whisper of Atlanta waiting. My career a tether pulling north. "This project's wrapping soon," I said. Tracing patterns on her arm. "Then what?" She sighed. Long and low. Pulling me closer. "Then we see what grows. Summer unfurled hot and relentless. The kind of Georgia heat that presses clothes to skin and secrets to light." I shuttled between cities. Atlanta's steel towers clashing with Savannah's languid grace. The project thrived under Spencer's influence. Client emails gushing over the organic flow, my boss slapping my back with rare praise. But it was her I craved. The curve of her smile in video calls. The way she'd hum old folk tunes while sketching. We stole weekends. Her driving up with coolers of shrimp boil. Me sneaking down with bottles of bourbon. One such escape landed us in Charleston. A whim to scout Palmetto Groves for texture inspo. The city wrapped us in its arms. Battery walls whispering of old wars. Horse carriages clopping past like time travelers. We wandered Rainbow Row. Hands brushing in the crowd. Her fingers lacing mine when no one looked. Dinner at a harborside joint. Crab legs cracked open with laughter. Her foot nudging mine under the table. "You're glowing?" "You know," she said. Eyes crinkling. I ducked my head. Heat rising not from wine. But cracks formed. Subtle as hairline fractures in concrete. A call from Atlanta mid-meal. My ex's name flashing. Voicemail laced with casual cruelty. "Heard you're playing house down south. Careful. Logan. You always run." I deleted it. But the poison lingered. Twisting in my gut. Spencer noticed. Her hand covering mine. "Old ghosts?" I nodded. Throat tight. "She says I'm flighty. Unbuildable." Spencer squeezed. Voice steady. "Folks like that see foundations. Not the skyward reach. You're more than steady, darlin'. You're storm and shelter. That night? In our rented attic room overlooking the Cooper River. We made love slow. Deliberate. Her hands mapping me like sacred ground. Whispers of "stay" and "build with me," sighs mingling with the distant horn of ships. But dawn brought reality. My alarm buzzing like an intruder. Back in Atlanta. The project's final push loomed. Deadlines stacking like storm clouds. I threw myself in. Late nights blurring into dawn. Sketches piling high. Texts to Spencer grew sporadic. Apologies laced with exhaustion. She understood. Or tried. A package arrived midweek. Wildflower seeds and a note, "Plant these when the build's done. Roots for us." I pressed them between pages. Heart aching. But doubt festered. Her steadiness a mirror to my chaos. What if I uprooted her world? Or she mine? A Friday eve. Rain lashing my windows. I called. "I need space," I said. Voice cracking. "This. Us. It's too much with the deadline." Silence stretched. Then her sigh. Heavy as humidity. "Space is fine, Logan. But don't mistake it for escape." The line went dead. And I curled into myself. Sobs racking quiet. Days bled into a haze. The project wrapping with fanfare I barely registered. Presentation nailed. Handshakes exchanged. But victory tasted hollow. Her absence a void. Atlanta's pulse felt frantic now. Skyscrapers closing in. I wandered midtown bars. Nursing drinks that burned less than regret. Replaying our last words. Her face haunted. That final look in Charleston. Hope veiled in caution. 2 weeks later. The itch became unbearable. I drove south unannounced. Heart pounding like pistons. Pulling up to her house as cicadas screamed dusk. Lights glowed warm. Her silhouette in the window. Pruning shears in hand. She stepped out. Brow furrowed. Dirt smudged on her cheek. "Logan." Not angry. Just tired. I stepped forward. Words tumbling. I panicked. "The project's done. But I'm not. I want this. Us. If you'll have me." She set the shears down. Slow. Crossing arms like a barrier. "You ran? Darlin'. Not from the work. From feeling." Her voice wavered. Eyes glistening. "I get it. I've done the same. Dug in so deep I forgot the sun." Pause. Breath drawn deep. "But love's not a solo build." I nodded. Tears spilling. "Teach me. Then. How to stay." She uncrossed her arms. Stepping close. Thumb brushing my lip. We learned together. The kiss was fierce. Reclaiming. Rain from an earlier shower mingling with salt on skin. Inside. We talked till stars wheeled overhead. Vulnerabilities laid bare like exposed footings. Her fear of fading into mentor roles. My terror of impermanence. By morning. Plans sketched not on paper. But in possibility, me relocating south. A joint firm blending architecture and landscape. Roots in Savannah soil. Months folded into seasons. Fall painting the lowcountry gold. Our first collaboration bloomed. A community center in Bluffton. Curves of hers meeting my angles in harmony. Evenings on the porch swing. Her head on my shoulder. Sighs content as the rivers murmur. But growth came with growing pains. Arguments over site plans flaring hot. Cooled by apologies whispered in bed. One crisp November eve. As leaves skittered like confetti. She turned to me in the kitchen. Flour dusted from pie crust. "Marry me, Logan." Not the white dress kind. The promise kind. I froze. Then laughed. Pulling her close. "Yes. To all of it." Rings simple. Gold bands etched with river motifs. Exchanged under that same live oak. Life settled into rhythm. Not flawless. But full. Projects flowed. Love deepened. The occasional storm reminding us of resilience. And in quiet moments. Her hand in mine. I'd think back to that rainy coffee shop. How advice became anchor. We'd built something enduring. Not of stone. But spirit. Human. Flawed. Alive. The first frost dusted the palmettos like powdered sugar on beignet. And I woke to Spencer's side of the bed cool. The scent of chicory trailing from the kitchen. Our home now. This rambling Victorian on the outskirts of Savannah. Creaked with the weight of shared mornings. The kind where sunlight slanted gold through lace curtains and painted her bare shoulders as she stirred oatmeal on the stove. I patted in barefoot, wrapping arms around her waist from behind, chin hooking over her shoulder. Smells like home, I murmured, lips brushing the curve of her neck. She leaned back, a soft hum escaping, body fitting mine like puzzle edges worn smooth. It had been 6 months since that porch proposal. Rings glinting on fingers as we navigated the merge of lives. My drafting table now crowded hers in the sunroom. Blueprints mingling with seed catalogs. Atlanta a weekend haunt for client meets. The community center in Bluffton broke ground last month. Earth movers scarring the site like the first kiss of creation. Our vision taking shape in red clay and rebar. But success brought its own tempests. Egos clashing in boardrooms. Nights where I'd pace the hallway, whispering fears into the dark. This morning, though, peace reigned. She turned, spoon in hand, feeding me a bite, her eyes crinkling with that secret smile. Taste the cinnamon? I nodded, swallowing around the warmth blooming in my chest. We ate at the scarred oak table. Newspapers spread wide. Her foot tracing lazy circles on my ankle under the wood. Talk turned to the next bid. A restoration in Beaufort. Historic and begging for our touch. We could infuse the gardens with night bloomers, she said, sketching quick on a napkin. Moonflowers climbing the trellises, drawing folks out after dark. I watched her, pencil flying. The way concentration furrowed her brow. A single strand escaping to curl against her temple. Love, I realized anew. Was this, the ordinary made sacred? Sighs woven into conversations like threads in tapestry. But beneath it, echoes lingered. My old restlessness a shadow at the edges. A letter from my mother arrived yesterday. Postmarked Denver. Words clipped and cool. Heard you're shacking up south. Stability suits some. I suppose. It stung. Her nomadic ghost haunting my choices. Spencer sensed the shift. Her hand covering mine mid-sentence. Penny for them? I exhaled slow, folding the napkin into pleats. Mama. Always the nomad's daughter in her eyes. She nodded. No rush to fill the quiet. Families carve deep grooves. But you're carving your own now. Her thumb stroked my knuckles. Steadying. We cleared plates together. Suds foaming in the sink. My back to her chest as she washed. Me drying. A kiss pressed to my shoulder. Lingering. Sparked something deeper. Bodies turning. Water forgotten as lips met. Hands roaming familiar paths. Later. Showered and dressed. We drove to the Bluffton site. Truck bed rattling with tools. Radio crooning Lucinda Williams. The crew nodded greetings. Hard hats bobbing as we walked the perimeter. Her boots sinking in mud beside mine. Look here, she pointed. Where the foundation poured smooth. Rebar skeletons waiting for skin. Your lines? My green. It's us. Pride swelled. Mixed with the thrill of creation. The way our worlds intertwined seamless. But the day soured mid-afternoon. Subcontractor balking at the irrigation specs. Voice rising gruff. Too fancy for this budget. Ladies. The word landed like gravel. Casual dismissal wrapped in southern drawl. I bristled. Jaw tight. But Spencer stepped in smooth. Voice even. Fancy keeps it sustainable. Run the numbers again. He grumbled off. And she turned to me. Brow arched. Breathe. Darlin'. Not every fight's worth a swing. I sighed. Rubbing temples. It's the undertone. Like we're playing at this. She pulled me aside. Behind a stack of lumber. Hands framing my face. We are this. Earned. Every inch. Her kiss was firm. Grounding. The crew's hammers fading to rhythm. Back to work. Tension eased. But the seed planted. Doubt whispering of glass ceilings in our field. Evening found us at a low-country boil in town. Picnic tables groaning under shrimp and sausage. Local swapping stories under string lights. Her friends enveloped me. Easy laughter flowing with beer. Tales of floods and fiddles. But as night deepened, a woman approached. Silver-streaked hair. Ex-fellowship rival turned colleague. Spencer Whitaker. Still turning dirt to dreams? Hug exchanged. Then her gaze slid to me. Appraising. And who's this? Logan Hayes. My partner. Architect extraordinaire. Spencer's arm draped my shoulders. Casual claim. The woman smiled thin. Partner. Charming. Last I heard. You swore off entanglements. Spencer chuckled low. Sworn off fools? Maybe. The bar blended light. But I felt the undercurrent. History's brushing like hidden roots. Later. In the truck. I probed gentle. Old flame? She shook head. Keys jangling. Old mistake. Wanted to clip my wings. Her hand found my thigh. Squeezing. You? You mak spread. Home under stars. We tumbled into bed. Limbs tangling urgent. Her mouth tracing collarbones. Sighs pulled from deep. You're mine, she whispered against skin. Fierce. And I arched. Whispering back. Always. Sleep came heavy. Dreams of soaring structures. Green veins pulsing life. Winter crept in sly. Holidays strung with lights and logistics. My family begged a Denver flyover. But I demurred. Citing deadlines. Truth was. The pull south rooted deeper. Spencer's quiet joys outweighing old obligations. We hosted her kin instead. Sprawling table laden with turkey and cornbread. Her brother's jokes booming. Nieces tugging at skirts. I carved. Knife steady. Her eyes meeting mine across chaos. Gratitude silent but sure. Post-feast. Porch swing swaying. Her head in lap. I combed fingers through hair. Braiding loose. This is family, she murmured. Eyes drifting shut. I nodded. Throat full. But midnight brought a call. Atlanta firm head. Voice clipped. Need you back full time? Logan. Big fish biting. Heart stuttered. Opportunity gleaming like polished steel. Spencer stirred as I hung up. Face paling in lamplight. Go if it calls, she said. But her voice cracked. Hand clutching mine. Nights blurred. Pros cons listed on fridge pads. Her sketches encroaching like gentle invasions. We could expand here, she offered. Mapping a Beaufort office. But ambition gnawed. The siren song of city lights. A weekend north sealed it. Skyline views from high-rises stirring old fire. Back south. Confrontation brewed. Dinner tense. Forks scraping plates. I need this, I said. Eyes down. For me. For us? Long term. She pushed plate away. Sigh long. Long terms now. Logan. Not a ladder rung. Words escalated. Voices rising soft then sharp. Accusations of selfishness. Fears of abandonment. Door slammed. Me to guest room. Her to garden. Shears clipping furious. Dawn found us hollow-eyed. Coffee black and bitter. I love you, I started. But she held hand up. Love's action. Show me. The ultimatum hung. Invisible trust bearing weight. I cancelled the Atlanta offer. Ink drying on withdrawal email as she watched from doorway. Relief softening lines. Staying, I said. Pulling her close. Tears mingled. Forgiveness tasting sweet. That night? Slow dances in kitchen to Coltrane. Body swaying. Rebuilding trust stroke by stroke. Spring returned verdant. Our Beaufort bid won. Crews mobilizing under dual command. Sites became sanctuaries. Her hands in soil. Mine on levels. Harmony restored. But scars lingered. Conversations deeper now. Vulnerabilities aired like laundry in breeze. One eve. Post-shower. Towel loose. She traced my ribs. What if we'd lost this? I shivered. Honest. I'd have shattered. Her kiss sealed it. Promise renewed. Summer solstice party at home. Fireflies winking. Friends toasting our year. Laughter echoed. Her arm around waist. World full. In quiet after. Bed warm. Her breath even beside. I marveled. From coffee shop tears to this. A life woven. Human threads. Fraying, mending. Enduring. Heat waves danced off the asphalt as we crossed into Florida Panhandle. The truck's AC wheezing like an old friend on its last breath. This was our anniversary gift to selves. A road trip looping Gulf Coast. Chasing sunsets and seafood shacks. Leaving briefs behind for sand between toes. Spencer drove first shift. Playlist shuffling Springsteen into Indigo Girls. Her free hand drumming thigh. Window down to whip hair wild. I snapped photos covert. Her profile sharp against blue. Joy etching lines I'd kiss later. Apalachicola welcomed with oyster brims. Salty air clinging clothes as we slurped from half shells at a waterside dive. To us, she toasted with beer. Foam clinging lip. And I leaned across table. Stealing a sip and more. Salt and lager mingling sweet. Talk meandered. Dreams voiced loose, a sabbatical in the Smokies. Sketching cabins, adopting a mutt from the pound. Naming it after a lost blueprint. Laughter bubbled. Easy. The kind earned through tempests. St. George Island that night. Rental cottage perched on dunes. Waves lapping rhythmic below. We walked beach barefoot. Skirts hiked. Her collecting shells. Me tracing messages in wet sand. Stay, I wrote. Waves erasing partial before she saw. She knelt. Adding forever, shells bordering like punctuation. Back inside. Candles guttering. Dinner simple. Grilled snapper flaking tender. Wine loosened tongues. Confession spilling, her girlhood hiding crushes in diary locks. My college fumblings in dorm shadows. Vulnerability bridged. Hands linking across flame. Bed called early. Sheets cool against flushed skin. Exploration lazy then urgent. Her name gasped into pillow. Sighs harmonizing with surf. Morning brought coffee on deck. Gulls wheeling. Her reading aloud from a battered Neruda. Voice rapping verses around dawn. Love is so short. Forgetting so long. I took the book. Marking page with shell. Ours won't forget. Push north to Pensacola. White sands blinding. We rented kayaks. Paddles dipping sink as mangroves arched overhead. Her laugh echoed when a splash fight erupted. Water beating lashes. Truce sealed with floating kiss. Boat rocking gentle. Lunch at a beachside grill. Paboys dripping. Sand gritting teeth. Her foot-hooked calf under table. Anchor casual. Afternoon siesta in hammocks. Bodies swaying tandem. Dreams overlapping in murmurs. But evening storm rolled in sudden. Skies bruising purple. Thunder rumbling distant then near. We dashed to truck. Soaked laughing. Her shirt clinging translucent. My hair plastered wild. Motel detour. Neon buzzing vacancy, room smelling faintly mothballs. But bed king-sized welcoming. Rain-sheeted windows as we peeled wet layers. Towels shared. Her drying my back slow. Fingers lingering spine. Storms suit you, she whispered. Pulling close. And we weathered it tangled. Lightning flashing silhouettes. Sighs drowning claps. Cleared by morning. We pressed on. Panhandle fading to Alabama wiregrass. Mobile's bayou charm beckoning. Creole lunch. Gumbo thick with roux. Her spooning tastes. Eyes dancing spicy. Azalea trail hike after. Blooms rioting pink. Her hand and mine swinging. Stories of childhood escapades. Tree forts and firefly jars. You'd have fit right in, she said. Tugging me off path to a hidden glade. Backs against oak. Kiss deepening to ground cover. Birdsong chorus. Birmingham interlude. Urban pulse quickening step. We toured Vulcan Park. Iron giant overlooking city sprawl. Her arm looped waist atop overlook. Wind tugging scarves. From hills to hollows, she mused. That's us. Dinner soul food. Collards vinegary. Cornbread crumbling. Jazz trio crooning low. Bar hop after. Dives dim. Her two-step pulling me floorward. Hips swaying sink. Sweat sheening brows. Homebound late. Truck humming hymns. Her head lolling shoulder. Peace profound. Nashville detour. Music City neon calling. We caught a bluegrass set at Station Inn. Fiddles keening. Her boot tapping mine. Dance, she asked. Pulling up. Bodies close in crowd sway. Whiskey warming veins. Hotel rooftop. Skyline twinkling. We shared a cigar. Smoke curling stories, her first heartbreak at 22. Barstool confessions, my escape to drafting school. Hiding hard in angles. Dawn crept. Tangled in luxury linens. Her fingers tracing tattoos. Mind mapping freckles. Kentucky Bourbon Trail next. Distilleries dotting horse country. Tastings blurring labels. Her flush-cheeked giggling at oak barrel tales. Picnic under thoroughbred pastures. Cheese and charcuterie. Horses thundering distant. Run like that, she said. Hand over heart. Wild and sure. I kissed palm. Promising. Evening in Lexington. Farm-to-table feast. Lamb shank falling bone. Candlelight gilding her features. Bed and breakfast sweet. Clawfoot tub steaming. Bubbles foaming as we soaked. Legs entwined. Whispers steaming too. Caving in mammoth. Headlamps bobbing echo chambers. Her hand gripping tight in dark squeezes. Echoes our depths, she joked. Voice bouncing. But grip tight and sincere. Surface again. Sunlight blinding. Relief shared an embrace. Earth reclaimed. Drive to Chattanooga. Mountains rising welcome. We rented a cabin riverside. Fire crackling hearth. Trout sizzling skillet. Stories swapped by flame. Her head knee. My fingers carding hair. Sighs content as embers. Ocoee Rapids rafting dawn. Water roaring white. Her whoop piercing spray. My grip paddle white. Adrenaline bonding. Lunch trailside. Wraps unwrapping laughs. Bruises blooming tender. Afternoon lazy river float. Inner tubes bumping. Her floating near. Pinkies linked. Sun dappling water. This is living, she murmured. And I agreed. Heart full. Atlanta pit stop. My old haunt. Skyline familiar yet foreign. Dinner with former colleagues. Toasts to move south. Her charm disarming skeptics. Hotel high-rise. Views panoramic. We made love against glass. City lights witnessing. Her back arched. My name prayer. Morning coffee balcony. Her in robe loose. Plotting return. South calls louder, she said. And I nodded. Home redefined. Final leg Savannah bound. Sunset gilding marshes. Truck quiet save crickets chirping radio. Her hand thigh resting. Thumb circling soothing. Best reset, I said. And she smiled. Eyes rode ahead. Home greeted arms open. Porch light beacon. Bed waiting stories untold. In afterglow. Spooned close. Her breath neck warm. I whispered thanks. Life's map redrawn. Curves hers. Straight's mine. Endless road together. Yet autumn winds whispered change. A grant offer landing email. Spencer shortlisted for National Arboretum Design. DC pulling. Month away, she said over breakfast. Newsprint forgotten. Dread coiled gut. Separation specter rising. We'll manage, I forced. But voice wavered. Her kiss forehead lingered. Roots hold. Packing watched. Suitcase sipping final. Airport drop-off ache sharp. Call every desk, she instructed. Boarding pass clutched. Gate walk. Wave final. Plane lifting skyward. My drive home hollow. Nights stretched. Bed vast. Dreams fragmented. Work-filled days. Bluffton progress steady. But evenings porch swing solo. Tea cooling untouched. Voicemails bridged. Her accent thickening fatigue. Updates on cherry blossoms. Marble halls. Miss your angles, she'd say. And I'd laugh forced. Hiding tears. Week 3. Surprise package, pressed DC leaf. Note, for our next build. Heart swelled. Resolve firmed. Weekend visit planned. Train ticket punched. Union Station bustle. Her amid crowds. Arms opening wide. Hotel room overlooking monuments. Reunion fervent. Bodies reuniting fierce. Never again, gasped between sheets. Her nod fervent. Grant wrapped triumphant. Presentation lauded. Her sketches panel favorites. Dinner constitutional. Crab cakes flaky. Toasts to homecoming. Return south sweeter. Airport pickup embrace lingering. Truck humming familiar. Home unpacked. Routines resuming. But gratitude deepened. Absences sharpening presence. Holiday lights strung joint. Tree trimmed baubles. Her ladder steady. Me ornament hanger. Eve firelit. Cocoa steaming. Her nestled close. Carols low. Forever's looking good, she murmured. And I hummed agreement. Heart anchored. Winter solstice gala. Industry black tie. Her in emerald silk. Me tailored slacks. Arms linked red carpet. Speeches droned. But her whisper ear tickled. You steal show. Award her name called. Applause thundering. My kiss stage wing proud. After party swirl. Champagne fizzing. Her dance pull insistent. Body's close murmur. Home late. Gown pooling floor. Celebration extended dawn. New Year dawned crisp. Resolutions voiced kitchen steam, more travels. Deeper listens. Wilder dreams. Breakfast nook. Pancakes stacking. Her syrup drizzle playful. Year ahead sketched napkin. Goals branching like live oak limbs. Love. I thought. Watching her hum. Was this unfolding? Seasons cycling. Us constant. Blossoms burst riot along the Tybee dunes. Pink dogwoods nodding to sea breeze as we staked claim on a blanket. Picnic baskets spilling deviled eggs and devotions. This was our ritual now. Beach Sundays post-church. Though faith for us leaned pagan. Altars of shells and sermons and waves. Spencer stretched languid. Sundress riding thighs. Book open on belly rising falling breath. I sketched her unawares. Pencil capturing curve of calf. Shadow pooling collarbone. The way sun gilded lashes low. A year wed. And wonder lingered. Mornings still greeted with awe. Her stirring coffee my favorite vista. The firm thrived. Hayes Whitaker Designs inked contracts coast to coast. Our signatures tandem on proposals. But balance tipped subtle. Her travel requests mounting. Symposiums in Seattle. Residencies in Santa Fe. Expand horizons, she'd say. Packing light. But home echoed emptier each departure. This day. Idle held. Gulls scavenging crumbs. Her toes sand buried. Mine tracing patterns ankle. Read to me, she requested. Eyes shut bliss. I obliged. Voice weaving Atwood verses. Her sighs punctuating stanzas. Hand finding mine squeeze. Lunch devoured lazy. Grapes popped lips. Her juice stain kissed away. Nap followed. Heads pillowed arms. Dreams sinking tide. Afternoon wander boardwalk. Salt air tangy. Her arm waist looped. Locals nodding hello. Ice cream cones dripping. Vanilla hers. Chocolate mine. Shared licks laughing. Sticky sweet, she teased. Thumb lip swiping. Pull close impulsive. Pier end. Rail leaned. Ocean vast. Her head shoulder Nestle. Dreamed last night of island build, she murmured. Glass house waves crashing. I hummed interest. Plotting already. Love's architecture endless. Evening bonfire permitted. Driftwood crackling. Flames painting faces amber. Marshmallows toasted golden. Her stick-wheeled expert. Mine charring comic. Stories circled. Neighbors joining. Tales of hurricanes weathered. Love's lost found. Her gaze mine held across fire. Spark deeper than embers. Promise silent. Bed salt scented. Windows open roar. Bodies curling comma. Sleep sound. Monday merged routine. Office hum printers whirring. Her desk adjacent. Coffee mugs mismatched. Client call bridged coasts. Voices pitching Eco-Village Maine. Her input greens weaving seamless. Lunch walk square. Fountain splashing. Her bench perch. Me feet lap. Idea brewing, she confided. Napkin doodle. Vertical farm sketches. Excitement sparked joint. Evenings brainstorming blaze. But midweek shadow fell. Email from her alma mater. Adjunct professorship offer. Athens, Georgia. Commute feasible but tempting. Mentor young minds, she said dinner fork poised. Eyes search mine. Pride ward caution. Memory absences fresh. Part-time, I probed. Voice neutral. Not affirmative. But enthusiasm lit her. Impossible deny. Trial run weekends. Her lecturing halls. Me tagging once. Auditorium filled eager faces. Her passion podium command. Dinner faculty club after. Wine flowing anecdotes. Her stories captivating. Armchair back casual. Drive home dark. Her hand knee pat. Fills a hollow, she admitted quiet. I squeeze thigh. As long as we fill ours. Months cycled. Athens Tuesdays Thursdays claiming her. Homecomings late but lush. Tales tumbling bath bubbles. Firm steady. My leads increasing. Beaufort and ribbon cut gleaming. Reviews raving, soulful sanctuary. Pride mutual. Toasts clinking glasses porch. But fatigue etched her. Circles under eyes. Sighs lengthening. Fall foliage tour escape. Blue Ridge Drive. Leaves flaming torch. Cabin rented hot tub steam. Hikes waterfall chase. Her pack strapped. Me map navigator. Lunch overlook. Sandwiches crusty. Her cheese string playful. Evening soaked jets bubbling. Wine sipped rims. Her back chest lean. Neck kiss trail. Missed this, breathed. And I held tighter. Waters mirroring stars. Thanksgiving kin converge. Her family boisterous. My video call mama distant. Table groaned abundance. Grace her voice steady. Thanks voiced circle. Pie pumpkin spiced. Her slice generous. Foot nudge secretive. Clean up tandem. Suds fight escalating giggles. Floor slick chase. Bed full bellies. Her spoon curve. Whispers gratitude. Sleep deep. Holiday bazaar stroll. Booths hawking wreaths pine scent. Her haggling ornaments. Me cider steaming. Lights strung twinkling. Carolers off-key charming. Gift idea, she tugged elbow. Stall pause. Leather journal emboss. For your sketches. Heart flip. Return favor necklace shell pendant. Clasp her neck fingers tremble. Eve tree trim. Baubles clink. Her ladder reach. Kiss stolen rung. Winter grant cycle. Her proposal arboretum expansion. Night's laptop glow. My tea refill silent support. Submission sent dawn. Relief exhale joint. Couch collapse tangle. Team, she murmured mouth mine. Celebration slow burn. Acceptance wired weeks later. Champagne popped fizz. Dance kitchen spin. Spring symposium New Orleans. Her panel lead. Me tag along beignet dusted. French Quarter wander. Jazz saxophone wail. Her hips sway Pull Street. Dinner courtyard fountain. Crawfish boil messy joy. Her napkin dab chin. Hotel balcony overlooking Mississippi. Her rail lean. Dress wind whipped. City's pulse matches yours, said. Arms circle waist. Night deepened. Beads tossed catch. Laughter echoing alleys. Return invigorated. But Athens' pulse strengthened. Full semester tempting. Dinner debate gentle. Forks pause mid-bite. Youth need guiding, she argued soft. Eyes plead. And I need you whole, countered. Voice crack. Compromise brewed. Hybrid model. Remote lectures peppered visits. Balance teetered. But held. Love's ledger balanced careful. Summer sabbatical hers. Vermont residency. Artist colony greens. Airport farewell ache. Her wave final. Plane vanish. Solo weeks stretched. Firm solo helm. Evenings journal fill. Her letters postmarked arriving heartfelt. Visit mid. Foliage early turn. Cabin shared loom. Her weaving demo. Threads color dance. Hikes birch grove. Her basket forage. Picnic mushroom sauté. Night fire pit. Story's shadow puppet. Her profile flame lit. Kiss ash scented. Reunion airport run. Her tan deepened. Arms crush bone. Truckload luggage. Home unpack frenzy. Bed reclaim fervent. Missed your lines, gasped. Bodies map rediscover. Fall semester loomed. But boundaries set firm. Date night sacred. Her Athens overnights mine only. Harvest moon festival town. Hayrides bump. Her blanket wrap. Cider mugs clink. Bonfire circle. Fiddles tune. Her dance pull circle. Boots stomp sink. Home hay scent. Shower steam chase. Bed moon glow. Sighs lunar tide. Year's end reflect. Journal pages thumb. Growth graft ink. Challenges met. Loves deepened. Future sketched open. Her head pillow shared. Breath even. I traced jawline. Gratitude swell. Life's blueprint. Ours drawn joint. Enduring ink.